All right, I'm live. Hi. Hi, Lori. I don't know if you're still here, but you were there for a minute. And anyway, today is 5/5. Is it 5/5 now? Wow. That's amazing. It's May 5th. Is it? It's Monday, May 5th. Amazing. Amazing. Well, anyway, hi. For anyone who comes afterwards, please leave a comment. I read all of them and I really like them. So, I love it. Thank you for coming on. So, tonight is an exciting night for me because I'm going to tell you guys how I lost 100 pounds and I kept it off for 14 years. It's pretty cool, huh? But I don't want to start until a few more people come. So, tell me what's happening with you, Levitt. What are you up to? Or Lori? Is Lori still here? I can't tell if she's still on or not. It says a L times LG. I was at one time a 5X, but since March, I've changed. Everyone tries to tempt me, but I've got this. I have no idea what that means. The Elk of Antioch. All right. Hail, Princess Magoo of Tegeac. West. All right. Long may you reign. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I've been painting. Ooh, nice. Love it. Really nice. Hey, JB808, welcome. Thank you for coming on. And hi, Eric. Good, you're coming. I was just going to text you and say, hey, come on. Good. Hello, aloha. That's got to be so wonderful to live in Hawaii. I really think, I've always thought it's got to be one of the greatest places to live. It really is. And now he's going to Japan. So who knows if he'll think Japan is even better. I've heard Japan is a pretty cool place. I really have. And I like a lot of their customs and things. So it'll be fun for you to hang out and eat there. Their food is fabulous. So it'll be cool. I've just been watching Lord Bunker of Farsec. I need to do that. I've been busy on this TikTok thing. It went out of control. Oh my God. If any of you did go subscribe, thank you. I mean, I got the subscriptions went way up last night. It was like 2,000. Now it's 5,000. And I've gone viral, I guess, on TikTok. I mean, it's really weird. It's really, really, really weird for me. But, it's like, it was 1,500 this morning on my very first video. I mean, not my first video. Wait. Oh, here she is. Okay. I'm just online. Can I call you back? Yeah. Okay. It's a friend of mine. She's like, you're on live? I said, yeah, I am. Anyway, it's really gone wild. It's kind of interesting. It was 1,500. Now it's at, I think, 8,000, in one day. It's like, wow. Looking forward to your weight loss story. Okay, good. Hi, Van. I will get into it in a few minutes. Okay, now let me see. Somebody said he's streaming. He's streaming Clearwater Land. Use hearings. Oh, the hearings from before. Oh, wow. He's got all those from the injunta. Do you mean from the injunction? The people are overall very, very nice. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed by it, but it softened my hard Chicago interior. Oh, that's nice. Well, that's good, JV808. That always helps. I don't know that I ever had the hard Chicago thing, but I grew up in the suburbs. My husband used to always say, she's not from Chicago, she's from the suburbs. It was so funny. He had to say it every time. I'd say to somebody at a party, hi, I'm Tori, I'm from Chicago. And he'd say, she's not from Chicago, she's from the suburbs. It's like, I guess it was a button for him. Because he didn't really grow up in Chicago either, sort of. He grew up in Uptown, which is north of it, just a little bit. JB808, love it. Is there anything at the art stores in Japan that is nothing in California? Or is that too vague of a question? Yeah, maybe send her what you're interested in, or you're asking her what you should get. Thank you for the blessings, Tiffany. I appreciate that. Just got here. Welcome. In the Elk of Antioch, the land use hearings the land use about a current plan to take a roadway in front of the Harrison private. Oh yeah. I know they're trying to buy that street, I think. Is that it? That street thing? I'm from the burbs too. I hate when people call me out for saying I'm from Chicago. Because of what? You don't like Chicago? I love Chicago. So I'm always really proud that I grew up there. JB808, yes, so much. I do a Japanese technique of painting, so it's not too easy to get all that I need. Ooh, well, maybe you should send him some stuff that you need. A list of things and some money. And then he can buy it and bring it back. And don't forget customs. Oh, customs. For me, it was a riot. The biggest customs I remember was I had flown to Norway to help Andreas because they were trying to get him fired from his job. And I went on Good Morning Norway, which don't ever Google that with Tori Chrisman. I think I might have been Tori Bazazian. I can't remember. Tori Chrisman, Tori Bazazian plus Good Morning Norway. And it's awful. I mean, it's just awful. I was like in this totally weird accent that luckily some people on ARS, because when I came back home, everybody was like, what happened to you, Magoo? What's wrong? And I was like, what are you talking about? Because it was a great, everything went great. But apparently my accent was part of it. And luckily this one lady said, yeah, some people are like that. They're like chameleons. And wherever they go, she said, I'm like that. And wherever I go, I just take on the accent. Not that it's good, but it's just what happens. So now I really consciously try not to talk like I'm from England when I know I'm not, Oh, I love Chicago. Okay. But I'm from the burbs. I hate when I tell people I'm from Chicago and there's always someone who has to say, no, you're not. I know. It really ticks me off too. It really ticked me off for 26 years with my husband because he had to say it every time. I said, I'm from Chicago. Oh, no, she's from the suburbs. It's like, what is that? It's really weird. Which Chicago burb are you from? I think you're near to me. Love it. I can't promise it. I'll be packing very lightly, but I'll take in Tokyo for a few days. Ooh, nice. If you send me a list of things to look for, maybe I can pick them up. Hey, good. That's good. And the Elk of Antioch says, my brother absorbed a Floridian or a Florida accent after going to university there. And he sort of talked like this. Florida accents. JB808, love it. A little nothing Oz town called Carroll Stream. Wow, I've never even heard of that. That's a burb in Chicago? I never heard of it. JB808, that is so sweet of you. It's okay, I can order stuff from a friend who brings things when she goes home to visit. Well, that's nice. You just focus on fun. Thank you so much for the kind offer. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, because otherwise he's going to have to carry it back. But that was what I was going to tell you about the customs. I think I've told you guys this before, but that one lady, I leaned over and she went like this. And I did the Good Morning Norway at 5 a.m. And so now it's like 6 a.m. or 6:30. And she leans over and she goes, well, you've been busy today. And I look up and I think, how the hell does she know what I've been doing in the morning? And she goes, good job. I saw it. And she watched it on TV. It was really cool. Tori, because it's a nothing ass town. It's north. Oh, Wheaton. Okay. You just have to say Wheaton because I know Wheaton and south of Schaumburg. Okay. Excuse my language. That's okay. I know Wheaton for sure. I think we used to go up there for something. Did they have toboggans up there in Wheaton? I forget. There was somewhere we used to go where we'd go toboggan sliding. We had a toboggan, but they didn't have a toboggan slide in Park Ridge. So we'd go somewhere. Thank you. But if you can think of anything, let me know and I'll try. Yeah, I think it's something little that he could get. A paintbrush from Japan. You got to have something from Japan. From JB808. That would be very cool. That's cool that you're painting. I love that. All right, well, you guys ready to hear about my weight loss? Or should we wait a little bit? Oh, it might be Northside Park in Wheaton. They had a pretty nice hill of sledding. Yeah, this was a real toboggan slide. It wasn't just like a hill. It was a toboggan slide. And we'd drive up there with our toboggan and our whole family, I think, would get on it and go down. It was really fun. I really loved it. It was one of my I have a million pleasure moments from that time, where I was really happy living in Park Ridge. I loved it. I'm excited for your story. Okay, Eric, well, I will start. So it starts with my mother. My mother was a model and she was very pretty and she always had a beautiful figure and she always dressed really nice. And, she looked fantastic. So I think when I was maybe seven or eight, I was a young girl. And she said, I think you've gained 5 pounds. We better put you on a diet. And so that started me dieting as a little girl, and we started me dieting and dieting as the lady who helped me lose the 100 pounds taught me. Her name was Flora. And she said, think of the word diet, the first 3 letters. That's really what a diet is. And it's true. So I dieted for years and years and years. And how dieting works is, I know it was bad as a child. I know. But I'd gain weight and then I'd lose weight. And then I'd gain weight and then I'd lose weight. And then I'd gain weight. And you always gain more. So you just keep gaining weight. And I finally, by the time I was at Flag for my OT levels, I was huge. I was like 100 pounds overweight. Well, I think I was 80 pounds overweight when I was really worried about dying because my dad died at 51. And I thought, with this much weight, I knew it was bad on my heart. So I kept trying to diet to lose the weight so that I wouldn't, have a heart attack at 51 like he did. So I just kept gaining weight. And then, of course, at Flag on the OT levels, they have a whole thing where they go, well, have you had enough to sleep? And I go, oh, yeah, I always sleep well. Well, did you have enough to eat? And they have you do a metabolism thing where it's like squeeze the cans and you squeeze the cans. And if it doesn't read right, they go, I think you need some more to eat. Now, for an overeater, that's the best thing you can hear in the world. Okay. That's great. And plus OT7 didn't work. So for me, it was great to go eat. So we'd all go out and eat. There were a whole bunch of people that were overweight. So now I started on this eating thing. And I think I joined Weight Watchers. Now on OT7, they were trying to convince me. Now remember, Scientology is like a triangle, and OT7 and 8 are the 2 top levels, right? So they were trying to convince me that if I had a conversation with myself, that was my case, which was something I was supposed to erase. So my view was I couldn't think, because if I thought, it would come up on these 6-month checks, and then I'd have to pay for it, and then we'd have to run it out, and what are the BTs, and and we'd have to get rid of them. It was just a big mess. So I joined. One day I was in the Glendale Galleria, and I saw this lady, because they had like an escalator going up, and on the side was a big mirror. And I saw her ankles, and I thought, wow, she's really big. And then I saw her legs and I thought, and when you're that overweight, you generally don't look at your whole body. You kind of look at your neck and your hair and you go, I look okay. I mean, you're overweight, but it's just like, what are you going to do? And nothing was getting rid of it. So I thought, I don't know. So I see this lady and I think, wow, she's really got big ankles. She's really got big legs. Whoa, her hips are really big. And it kind of comes up and all of a sudden I come into view. I'm the big lady that I've been looking at. And it scared me. It really did. I had not seen that full view of myself in a really long time. And I was like, wow, I am gigantic. 100 pounds is 10-pound bags of potatoes. That's a lot of weight. So I thought, you know what? I don't know how to eat for one day and go to bed and feel good about it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to just join Weight Watchers because I'd heard from various, I was always reading on how to lose weight and stuff like that. And a lot of people mentioned Weight Watchers. It would be people were for it, against it, but more people were for it than against it. And I thought, I've got to do something where there's people that can help me. So I walk in and Flora's there and she goes, welcome to Weight Watchers. And she goes, these people back here at the back are all at goal weight. And I say, well, I don't know what that means even. And she said, well, it means they've lost all the weight they want and they've kept it off. Now, my brothers used to always say to me, my dad and my older brother and I all fought weight loss for years. And so especially David, who is the older brother, would always say to me, I'd say, I lost 20 pounds. And he'd say, and how long have you kept it off? And it would usually be, 3 weeks, maybe a month, and then I'd be back eating again. And I was a big overeater. It was awful. So I joined Weight Watchers. I think, all right, that's what I want to talk to. So I go back to these girls and I say, can I ask you something? I'm new here. What do you guys do that you're at goal weight and you've stayed at goal weight? And all four of them, there were four of them. They were all teachers. And they all look up at me and they go, we come every week. And I thought, that's it. If that's it, I can do it. I'll do it. And so I signed up and I joined. I was still in Scientology, thinking that I can't think, right? That's part of my case. And so Flora starts saying, welcome to the meeting, blah, blah, blah. And she says, if you go into a store, you see an apple, you see a donut, you see an apple, you see a donut, you think, should I get the apple? Should I get the donut? And she says, have a committee meeting. And because I was in Scientology and they'd brainwashed me that thinking was part of my case, I kind of raised my hand and I said, can I just ask you, what is a committee meeting? What does that mean? And she says, I'm going to answer your question in a minute, love it. And she says, it just means, everyone does it. You think, should I have the donut? Should I have the apple? Should I have the donut? Should I have the apple? And she said, all you have to do is make a better choice. Rather than getting the donut, get the apple. And I sat there stunned. I mean, I'm telling you, stunned. It was like, this was the first person. I almost started crying thinking about it. She was like the first person that had said to me, it's okay to think about it. This is a natural process. Everyone does it. Where Scientology had made me really feel like I was some really weird, which they always did anyway, because I had epilepsy. So I was always like a degraded being and fucked up and, PTS and that, and all this stuff. But now I was like, you're thinking too much and, see if you can walk down. My last CS was see if you can walk down the street and not think about your case. Well, that's like, don't think about an elephant. It's right there. And I finally, when I left, I had a meeting with a bunch of ex-CSs who were top CSs who'd worked with Hubbard and stuff. And they all said that is the squirreliest, weirdest CS we've ever heard, that someone would ask you to walk down the street and not think about your case. And that was the end of it for me, really. I got to the second driveway and I just went, that's it. I'm done. So that was that. But as far as what did you say, love it? Question, was C of S okay with you doing? I didn't care. You have to understand, this was way, 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 way. After 7 years of OT7 not working, and me writing up to David Miscavige saying this is not working, something's wrong, and he having a GD event saying, oh, do you want to know why the OT7s are all screwed up? It's because we trained them wrong. Okay, you don't have the dignity to call each of us in and say, look, we screwed up. We trained you wrong. That's why you're not having wins. No, he has to make a big event, announce it to everyone, and then send us, like we're these dogs, to the registrar to tell us, okay, you have to pay another $25,000 to get the new updated OT7. And I was like, no, I'm done. That's it. This is stupid. So I didn't care. I really didn't care. I had written it up to him. He just kept saying, okay, continue. That's all I'd get back. Okay, continue. And I said, this is killing me. They didn't care. So, did I care that whether they wanted me to go to Weight Watchers or not? No, I didn't. Professor Kakan, hi, Tori, joining late. No problem. We just started just a few minutes ago. So I'm just telling them about how I lost 100 pounds and kept it off for 14 years. So first of all, I joined Weight Watchers. That was number one. Back then, you had to kind of measure your food and stuff like that. Like now they have it all on your cell phone, and you can just type in, bagel, and you get so many points a day, and it tells you how many points it is. And it kind of figures it all out for you. It's really simple. But back then you had to kind of measure things and weigh them. And it was a bigger ordeal, but I didn't care if I was losing weight, and that was good. I think I started at 100 pounds, and I think I was at 80 pounds when I finally did that. I'm done with OT7. It was like, that's it. Now, it still took me about, I think, 3 years before I actually left, before I finally woke up and left. But I was done with trying to do OT7. It was like, that's it. I am done. And now I was really concentrating on losing weight. And then I really put my attention on it. What year did you start Weight Watchers? I think it was 1999. And I was 100 pounds overweight. And right away I lost. She said, the first thing she said to me is, what do you eat? I told her. She said, you're not eating enough. I said, I'm not eating enough? I'm 100 pounds overweight. She said, I know a lot of people that are overweight that have the same problem. They don't eat. And so what happens is your body thinks you're starving to death. So it holds on to everything you eat. And thus you get bigger and bigger and bigger. Hi, Mark. So they gave me a little program that they had where you had 3 meals a day and two snacks. So, and they had a little booklet of different kind of, hi, Professor Kakan, Chicagoland. They had a little booklet with things that they suggested that you would eat, for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. But of course you could eat anything you want. And Flora was really big on, try to stay on it and try to do 80-20, like 80% of the time you're on program, 20%, just do whatever you want, have whatever you want. It's eventually going to come off. And that's what happened. I mean, it really was. I started losing and then losing more. And I was really feeling much better because I think when you get overweight, you don't quite realize how much it affects you mentally, but it really does. And so I was just feeling great. And then I was working, and hi, Mark, I was working at a company, Moose on the Loose. Hello. Always happy to be able to join a live. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. So I'm telling them about me losing the 100 pounds and keeping it off for 14 years. So my goal from the beginning was lose the 100 pounds and keep it off. Don't just lose the weight, because I'd already done that 8,000 times, not losing 100 pounds, but I'd lost a lot of weight and gained it back and lost it and gained it, lost it and gained it, lost it. So I was like, no, this time I'm going to lose the weight and keep it off. So now I'm at work and I'd lost probably 60 pounds. So I had like 40 to go. But 40 pounds is still a lot of extra weight. And I was really ticked off because I could not lose it. And I just kept going to meeting after meeting after meeting. And, all this time you're having to pay for it. Once you get to goal weight, you don't have to pay anything. It's free. But I was like, come on, I got to get this together. And finally, and she kept teaching us different things. And one of them was, she said, we're sort of, overeaters are like endangered species on this planet. And, because they're all around us are, restaurants and pictures of food and people offering you food and going to parties and, oh, have this. And, oh, Eric, have this. And I made this especially for you for your birthday, and just stuff like that, where it just goes on and on and on. And it's so I had that in my head about the endangered species. And then I started thinking about where I worked, and where I worked was this really crummy place. And they basically, it was sort of like sales, customer service, and they basically didn't pay us much, but they fed us. So you'd have breakfast and lunch there, both crummy meals, high in fat, high in carbohydrates. But it was something. And then they would give you crummy pay. And so I finally realized, wait a minute, they're killing me. That's what's happening. So I put a big sign on my booth, because we each had these booths we were sitting in. And I said, I am an endangered species. Do not put a particle of food on this desk. Nothing. Not one M&M, nothing. And I know there's a lot of you. There were like 200 people. And they'd have these birthdays pretty much almost every day, at least every other day. And, I'd always go and think, oh, okay, I'll just have one piece of birthday cake. But, once you have one piece of birthday cake, if you're a sugar freak like me, then I'd be like, all right, I might as well go to McDonald's. I'm off program. So there you go. So I put this thing, I'm on endangered species. Don't put anything on my desk, nothing. And happy birthday to everyone. I can't come to your birthday parties, but I wish you happy birthday. That's it. And I lost the rest of the weight. That was it. Then I just started losing. Hey, Simon Bolivar. Hello. I just subbed to your channel. Well, thank you. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Good. So anyway, that was me getting to goal weight. So now I'm at goal weight. And then you have to maintain it for so many weeks. And I knew me, and their thing was, once you get to goal weight, if you gain 2 pounds, then you have to pay again. And I thought, I know me. I'm going to go nuts. She used to say, you gain weight and lose weight faster than anyone I've ever seen in my life in 1 week, in a 1 week time. And I used to say to people, I can look at some food and gain weight. It's ridiculous. So, okay, so the Elk of Antioch says, thanks, love it, man. It's tough. I don't know the medical definition of addiction, but I sure seem addicted to overeating, but I'm losing more than relapsing. Good. Well, that's good. The Elk of Antioch. I was the same. I was very addicted. I remember I bought one of those big bags of chocolate and peanuts in it and stuff. And I thought, well, this will last for a couple of weeks. I finished it that day. I was driving around. I ate the whole bag. So I know, it's very addicting. But that's why it helps. It really helps to go to a meeting, I think. The Elk of Antioch, I hope you're proud of yourself. You're doing great. Yeah, good job. That is great. If you're losing more than you're relapsing, that's good. I had tiramisu for my 38th birthday on March 3rd. I love tiramisu. I really do. Poweralized to paralyzed. Hello. Hi. We're just talking about me losing 100 pounds and keeping it off for 14 years. So I'm just at the point where I lost 100 pounds. I'm at goal weight, poweralized to paralyzed. And so I think, now wait a minute, this isn't going to work for me, because I knew me. I knew I'd gain the 2 pounds, and then I'd have to pay more money, and then I'd get ticked off and I'd quit. So instead, let's say this was my weight, my goal weight. So I lost another 10 pounds, and that became my goal weight. And I've now lost another 10 pounds. And so I'm now like 20 pounds under my original goal weight. But that took years. That took years and years and years. I mean, I made goal weight in 2010, so it's 2025 now. So it took me a while to get to the 10. Not too long to lose the 10 underneath what my goal weight was. But then it took me a long, long time to lose more. But anyway, I don't care, because my view is we're going to eat. Hi, Valerie. We're going to eat for the rest of our lives. So you might as well stay on program, to 80-20, that kind of thing. Or do something where you're happy with how you eat and you feel like you're in control of it. Because if you're not, it's really a drag. It is. And they've really got it down. I have to say they do. So I've kept it off for 14 years. And my friends for years have kind of teased me, because one of my things was donuts. And I was sort of like Homer Simpson with a bubble, where I used to just go to this one donut shop right by my house, and I'd get a couple donuts, but then I'd think, I really want to get a few more, but I'm too embarrassed to go back to him, because now I'm going to look like a knucklehead eating that much. So I'd go to different donut shops. And then I got into this whole thing where I was just going to donut shops all around. And I was like, I'd be driving down the street and I'd see a donut shop. It was awful. So when I finally joined Weight Watchers, I said to my friends, that's it. I'm done eating donuts. For me, the symbol of a donut is the same as a drink for an alcoholic. And I keep it the same. I've never had a donut since 1990. It's just like, no, I'm not going to eat one. And I know I could, because I've had creme brulee and tiramisu and stuff like that, and chocolate. And I eat a lot of stuff because I love sweets, but I just have a little bit. That was Flora's thing, which is just have smaller portions. And then you can eat a lot of stuff. That's too funny about the donuts, I know. Took off 50 pounds 2 years ago. Reverse type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure, 74, and no meds. Excellent. Good. That is fantastic, Van Cunningham. Tales of a hyperkinetic life. Wow. That's fantastic. Congratulations. See, that's a big deal. We've seen a lot of people come through Weight Watchers who have type 2 diabetes. And once they start eating right, it goes away. It's fantastic. I mean, they don't promote it because they can't, but it happens. I mean, we had a lady one day, a few years ago, she comes in, she can't walk. She's in a wheelchair. She's crippled. She's just like a wreck, right? And she's huge. And within a month, I see this lady going, I have a huge win. I've lost so much weight. And everybody claps. And she goes, and I lost something else. And we're all like, is that the lady? And she goes, I lost my wheelchair. I don't have a wheelchair anymore. She bought one of those three wheel bikes, one of those big bikes. But she bought one of those bikes and she just bikes around. And she looks fantastic too. So it's kind of fun to see people change. Hey, Tori and Chad. Hi, Connie B. Good to see you. And Janny Doyle. The first bite tastes the same as the last. So just have the first. That's right. That's what Flora used to say. It's on the first bite on your lips. It's like 1 second on your lips and it's 2 months on your hips. She had all these like little one-liners that were really great. So anyway, good job. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Tori and Chad. Hi, Connie B. All right. I ordered a dozen donuts from Tim Hutton's and had them for lunch during my Scientology finance course. I couldn't attest to passing on the cans. The course supervisor looked disgusted. I love that story. You're such a warrior in so many areas of your life. Do you enjoy your food? I do. Yeah, I absolutely do. Like truly enjoy your meals? Absolutely. Or do you always feel like no, I don't. That's the thing. Flora's thing was like diet. The first three letters of diet are die. And she said, don't die. This is an eating program. And that's how Weight Watchers is. They want you to eat. And so I eat a lot. I do. And I have a friend who doesn't eat. She barely eats anything. And she's much heavier than I am. And she swears, but I hardly eat anything. And I tell her, I know that's, you want to lose weight, but that's why, because your body thinks you're starving to death. So that's what Flora taught me. So she said it holds on to it. Howdy, love it, Connie says. All right, weight loss is simple, but doing it is hard. Burning up more calories than you take in. Hey, Sophie, I wouldn't say weight loss is simple, ever. Not for me. It took me 1990 to 2010. That's a long time to be working on something. And now I'm still on it, but I'm okay. But I think if you know how to do it, if you don't have the problem of needing to lose weight, it's simple because it's not your problem. But for people who do, it is a problem. But it's a huge win. Like my older brother, he's lost weight because he's a DJ, so he's dancing all the time around the stage. So he's lost weight, and he lives in Thailand, so he eats really good food. And my oldest brother is always fit. He's a big exercise guy too. The premise is simple, but again, doing it is hard. Weight Watchers is a great program that has been around for a long time. My first meal was in early 70s. Cool. Yeah, I never eat any of their food. That was the other thing. When I joined, I said, I'm not going to eat any of your food. And back then they sold food. Now they don't. But back then they sold dinners, which they don't at all anymore, I don't think. But none of us did. And Flora said, don't eat them, because they're anything packaged. We just went over this last night again, or Thursday night. Anything packaged has so many chemicals in it and stuff that it's not so healthy for you. She was like, eat whole food, clean food, and not fast food. But they did have these little bars, and I love those, but they don't sell those anymore either. Thank you all. Keto, intermittent fasting, low intensity exercise. Okay. Yeah, I have a few friends that are doing intermittent fasting. I always say whatever works for you. It's like I used to, because I've tried all the diets, I know them. But one was Atkins, and which is high protein, low fat, or at least it was then. I don't know what it is now. But I noticed men could be on Atkins forever and be happy. Women need carbs. They really do. And they're just not happy without them. So that's my 10 cents. Hi, Sophie. Power Lies to Paralyze says, as I've gotten older, I've just lost weight without trying. Now it's not something that I worry so much about. I just have quickly. I get full quickly and I stop when that happens. Yeah, we're kind of the same. What I do, one thing, because here in LA, I don't know where you live, Connie, but where we live, they serve, if you go out to eat, they serve everything on gigantic plates. They're like platters. And instead of like one breast of chicken, they have two, because they have to, because the plates are so big. And Flora used to bring in the plates that we ate off of as children, which were almost like salad plates. They're little teeny white plates, right? Much smaller than the big platters they have now. So what my friends and I do is we split. If we go out to eat, we go, all right, who wants to split with what? And we split a meal, and then it's half the price, and you're eating half the stuff. So it works out really good. But I know what you mean. It is, if you stop when you're full, that's a big thing to learn though. But if you do, that's good. I lost a lot on Atkins in the 70s too, but I think the fat intake is so much. Yep, my husband and I split meals when we go out. That's good. That's good. And if you Google the dinner plates from the like 50s, you'll see what they are, and it's shocking. That was one thing she was really great at, is she would bring in things. Like she'd bring in 5 pounds of fat. She'd say, this is 5 pounds. And it was shocking. It was like, wow, that's a lot. And here's 10 pounds, this is 10 pounds of fat. It was like, wow. So anyway, it was interesting to have someone who was really into, and she would tell us where to get stuff. She'd come in with all kinds of cool foods, and we'd say, well, where'd you get that? And she'd tell us the store and where it was. I really liked her. I mean, she was the one who had all these one-liners, like have the dinner or have the appetizers, don't have both if you go out to eat somewhere, because there's so much calories in them. Connie B says, our favorite nice place to go out is still over $100. Wow. With just one appetizer and one fish plate and no alcohol. But we love it. Wow. It's a good thing you split. Hey, Eric. Hi. My mom, Patty, did Nutrisystem for a long time until she lost 40 pounds. See, that's what I'm saying. Everyone has to find what works for them. I'm not like you have to do Weight Watchers or nothing. It's like different people have different things that work for them. And I learned over the years, it's really what works for you. If you're happy with it, do it. That's the thing. If it's not working, change it. It's pretty simple, as Connie said. I did Nutrisystem when it came out too, and the food was awful. It was short-lived for me. Nutrisystem was, I forget what Nutrisystem was. That's one I don't think I ever did. I don't, but I'm glad you got out of it. It's good to know it was awful. Yeah, I didn't like the already made foods. I didn't like that. Connie B, please make sure no Pacific fish right now. Oh, the pollution from the LA fires is killing a lot of sea life up and down the Pacific. What a drag. I mean, there's a lot of ramifications from those fires, and there's going to be for a long time. There really is. It's very, very tricky. But thank you for mentioning that. Love it. And Eric, tell your mom congratulations from me. I'm really glad she did that. That's 40 pounds is a lot of weight. It's 4 10-pound bags of potatoes for anyone thin. I told you, I don't know if you guys heard this story or not, but I was in the store with my husband back when we were in Scientology, and I'd lost, I think, 40 pounds. And I said, hey, guess what? I lost 40 pounds. And he went, oh, that's nice. And he's like 6'2". He's a big guy, right? And I said, that's nice? I mean, I had really worked on it to lose 40 pounds. It takes a lot. And I said, that's it? And I said, just a second. And I went and got a 10-pound bag of potatoes. I said, put your arms out. Here's 10. Here's 20. Here's 30. Here's 40. Now you go around the store and then come back and tell me in 15 minutes what you think. And he came back in about 5 minutes. He said, wow, congratulations. It's like all of a sudden he got it. Because that's why I tell people that, because a lot of people, they just don't get it. You go, oh, I lost 40 pounds, or my mom lost 40 pounds, and I'm, oh, that's nice. It's sort of like they just don't get it. They don't get what that really means. I mean, for me, honest to God, it was like being an engineer. When you're 100 pounds overweight, everywhere you go, can I sit down in that chair? Can I get up out of that chair? Can I walk down that aisle in the store without hitting things over or not? It was tricky. Love, it says, Connie B, please make sure. Oh, yeah, she said that was her warning. Love it, thanks. Never thought about it. We go to a place called Papadiu, I think, and I'm not sure where they source their fish from. I will surely find out if we go again. Yeah. Yeah, good idea. Try carrying around 40 pounds. I surely can't do it. Yeah, it's a lot of weight. It really is. And it's like a lot of people don't have a lot of respect for people who lost a lot of weight. And it's intense. It really is. It takes a lot of work. I always get confused with your American measurements. We do kgs. Oh, soapy. Well, 10 pounds. Do you have bags of potatoes in New Zealand? You must. Hi, Tori. Hi, Sarah. Hope you remember me. It's Sarah. Maiden name Love. I also love catching you. I've been subbed for a decade. Hey, wow. Sarah, what does it say? What is your nickname? Sarah, the domestic goddess. And your maiden name was Love? Wow, cool. Well, thank you for coming back. I hope you come back more. 2.2 kgs equals 1 pound. Thank you, Sieglin. I'm not sure on the conversion of pounds to kilograms. Sieglin did it. Whoop, whoop. 100 pounds is 45 kg. Wow. Sieglin, yes, I hate if I weigh so much more in America. Don't worry about it. You're in America. You can eat here. Sophie. It's a Roseanne bit from the 80s. LOL, she's hilarious. Yeah. You want to hear a funny story about Roseanne? Did I ever tell you that story about Roseanne? She had her show. This wasn't in the 80s, but this was after I left, and Tony Ortega had done the article on me and Andreas, Sympathy for the Devil. And Roseanne was with Tom Cruise, and he was really schmoozing her up, and she was falling for it. And I called my friend, and I said, she's going in. That's it. We got to do something. So because she has a bunch of connections with celebrities, so she got my article to Roseanne. And I come home at night, and I get an email. Dear Tori, this is Roro. And back then I was like really paranoid. And I wrote her back and I said, how do I know you're Roro? You could be anybody. You could be the Church of Scientology pretending to be Roro. I have no idea. So here's my phone number. Call me. And she did. And it was really great. She called me and we had this long talk. And she said, yeah, they want me to come to this charity thing tomorrow. And I said, be careful, because they're going to try to get your money. And she said, okay. And we had a long talk, and I told her how they ripped people off. And the next night she called me. She goes, thank you so much. They had said it was a big ball, and I went there thinking it'd be a whole bunch of people. It was just them over in the corner of this big room with a bunch of Sea Org around me. And they were all pounding me how I had to donate $1 million. And she said, honestly, I would have given it to him if I hadn't talked to you. I was like, So she was really pissed off and she was going to do a TV show on it. I said, no. What do your friends say? And she said, my friends all say no. And I said, your friends are right. Don't do that because they'll just come attack you. But what you can do is tell all your celebrity friends that you are in touch with behind the scenes about www.xenu.net, which is Andreas's site, which has all kinds of information they will never tell you. She said, thank you so much. It was really great. It worked out really great. Your American food is so fattening. I have to be careful when I'm there. I will be careful with you. Okay, Sarah says, I've got so much help from metformin, exercise, oregano oil, magnesium, and of course, watching what I eat, especially after 4 boys. Yes, split the Roseanne show tea. Spill the Roseanne show tea. All right, I told you. The Elk of Antioch, you are correct. I had it backwards. Okay. All right, good. Oh my God, I'm so jealous. That's got to be a care memory for you. And LOL at Scientology. Bill, you helped her out. I know, it really felt good to be able to help someone where I knew they were trying to sucker her in. I knew it. And it was like, not going to happen. No. So, we've had some good things like that where we've been able to get to people, and it always feels good. It really does. Every time it happens. It's like, I forget where were Drew and I the other night. Oh yeah, those Scientologists came by and talked to us. That was so weird. I don't know if you guys saw it, but these 2 Scientologists came by. Normally they never, ever, ever talk to us. But these 2 Scientologists came by and talked to us. And it was really interesting. It was. Core memory. Okay. Okay, and what about core memory? Anyway, you can go back if you want and look at it was a few days ago. I think it was last Friday night. I think Drew and I protested. It says Tori and Drew protesting at Big Blue. But if you scooted on in to about the middle or almost to 3/4 of the way, that's where the Scientologists come by and talk to us. And it was surprising. It really was. One was a guy and one was an 81-year-old lady who'd gotten in 1997. I mean, 1967. I got in 1969. So it was really interesting to hear the difference in both of us. I don't think she forgot what I said. I really don't. And I'm not telling you what I said. But you can go back and listen to it. That's the good and the bad of the internet. But the good thing is they always screw up. So it doesn't really matter because even if they find out, they'll screw it up. You thought I said core in the previous comment. That's all no big deal. Just wanted to correct the context. Okay. You thought I said care. Oh, care. Okay, and you said core. Okay, all right. Okay, now I get it. Now I'm with you. The core memory. All right. Oh, I see a core memory for you. It's got to be a core memory for you. It is. A lot of my memories are core memories. You guys are core memories. Well, anyway, does anybody have a question about weight loss or keeping it off or any comment or anything you want to say about it? Or you're all good with it? The other thing is this morning I listened to Serge, who, if any of you have listened to his stuff, he was abused in Scientology and has many videos up about it, but now he's found a group that was mentioned in my members only thing, and it's really great. I mean, the ladies were wonderful, and I really think they're going to be able to help him. It was really cool it was on at 11 o'clock in the morning this morning for Pacific Standard Time. And I mean, they had it together. They did. They talked about a closed group, where like people that are abused are often in a closed group. I love your stories and no questions about weight loss. Just congratulations on yours and your health. You inspire me to glow old, not grow old. Ah, thank you, Sarah. That's very sweet. I like that. Glow old, not grow old. There you go. A good plan. And that's what all three of my brothers have been the same. I mean, my two brothers and me, all three of us. Sarah, great way to put it. Glow old. Yeah, I like that. Charles, hi, Tori. Just wondering how you balance carbs, fats, and proteins in your diet. I don't. They have just started they've added that as I use everything's on my cell phone, and I pretty much know what to eat because I've been eating it for a long time now. I've been at goal weight for 24 years, never in Aaron. Hi. And so, and I've been at goal weight for 14 years, almost 15 in June. So yeah, 15, I'm going to be at goal weight for 15 years. And in June, I'm going to be 25 years, I think, right? Yeah, because June 2000, I got out in June. Well, it was July, but that's right. It'll be July when it's my 25th anniversary. Good. I'm glad I remembered that. All right. Did you say how you kept it off? I go every week to Weight Watchers. I do their program. I don't eat their food. I just eat regular food. But I use their program, and I count. They give you so many points that you can use a day, and I count them all the time. That was Flora's thing. It was like, it doesn't matter if you eat way too much, put it on your thing, because it gets you to look at, okay, that's, you can go to Jack in the Box, and most of the hamburgers are a whole week of points for Weight Watchers, but their chicken fajita is only 8 points. So that's really good. So I just do their program. That's it, Von Cunningham, Tales of Hyperkinetic Life. Question, are you still on Weight Watchers today? Yeah. If so, what are some of your favorite foods you eat from them? I don't eat their food. I never have. As soon as I started it, even the lady who worked for Weight Watchers, who helped me lose 100 pounds, recommended not eating their dinners because they're just they're processed foods. So, and she was really big on whole foods, fresh foods, good food. So that's what I've tried to eat. So, I have like yogurt for breakfast with fruit. And then I just have a very light lunch of like maybe cheese and grapes and, some other stuff, maybe some vegetables. And then for dinner, it just depends on wherever we're going out. If we're going out, or if I eat here, I eat a salad. Or what did I eat tonight? I'm trying to think if I even ate dinner tonight. I know I did. Oh yeah, I did. I know. I bought some. I literally live out of Trader Joe's. So I bought one of the Trader Joe's tuna fish things. It's already made up. And you get a third of it is so many points that I want to use. So I get a little bit of that, put it on a tortilla and make it into like a little, tuna burrito. And that's what I had with that. And then cottage cheese and then a chocolate. And I think that was it for that. And I still have to add up my points, but I think I still have some points left. Excuse me. So there you go. I can't believe I've never realized Weight Watchers was a calorie nutrition intake dinner tracking program. I always imagined a gym. Now I'm interested. Really? No, it's not. It's not a gym at all. They recommend you exercise, but that's low, 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 low. Like Flora used to say, people don't lose weight exercising. They lose weight cutting down in the portions and eating better. Okay, so Sophie says, I love to cook a yummy vegetarian dinner for you, Tori, but if Love It is there, then she's cooking. You two clowns. All right. And Van says, thanks, demos the power of commitment and consistency. Yeah, it really is. It's just consistency. It's just continuing to do it and doing the 80-20. See, if you try to do 100% of anything, in my opinion, you're setting yourself up to fail, because all of us are going to go off program on whatever we're doing. So as long as you build in a little bit of leeway to, like, okay, once a week, I can just go out and do whatever I want. And that was Flora's thing, like either if you know you have a big dinner coming up, that's your 20%. If you don't have anything, just go out and have whatever you want for one night or one afternoon or something like that. And I love that. I really do. Even when I do that, I try not to eat too much, but I do. I mean, I eat good food, but I eat a lot better than I used to. I mean, Spanky and I eat out all the time, and we're always like, can you believe we used to eat a whole entree of this by ourselves? I mean, now there's no way we could do it. It's just, our tummies are like tiny. We couldn't do it. Trader Joe's is so good. I moved from Sacramento area, California, to northwestern Tennessee, and our closest one here is in Nashville, an hour away. Wow, that's a drag. Well, have them deliver it. Sounds delicious. I know, Sophie. I agree. Sophie says, love it. I do the cleaning and you do the cooking. I'd probably put something in it that you won't like. No, if you guys cook, I clean. That's the way it is. That I will do. Sarah's, it's worth the drive. Yeah, true. You can do it once a week. Their chicken soup dumplings are so good. Yeah, they have so many things that are so good at Trader Joe's. Soapy, definitely. Luke, cauliflower and pasta. Ooh. Love it. No, don't even mention that. I don't know what I was thinking. It was horrible. But I am honestly not a bad cook. Well, then you can cook when you're here. I am not. So I'm not. We'll eat out if it's my night. I also stop when I can. Sophie, I know. I just love bugging you about Tori, I could cook and clean for you. I would not let you lift a finger. No way. I got to do something. I'll clean. You cook. That's been my policy forever, because my husband loved to cook. So he would cook and I would clean. Worked out great. But thank you, Sophie. Connie B, roasted cauliflower is good. True. Roasted vegetables are good too. And Love It says, I love cooking. I buy most of my food from the farmer's market. That's good. It's a very healthy way to eat. And especially with the way, now these ships aren't going to be coming in. So everything's going to be less of and more money and stuff like that. So it's good to be thinking of that. Tori, I've been a vegetarian my whole life in a country that's built on beef and lamb. So I had to learn to cook. Wow, that's impressive, Sophie. Good job for you. And that's very healthy. I know that. Well, I mean, if you know how to cook, it's healthy. I know some vegetarians. We had one that came to Weight Watchers, and he'd be thin, 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 and then one day he'd come and he'd be like, he was like a Pillsbury Doughboy, and I'd say, "What happened?" And he'd say, "Bread." It was one of those things where he was trying to do 100% no carbs, and he'd get off of it. And he was a vegan. He wasn't just vegetarian. He was a vegan, and he'd get into bread, and he just couldn't get out of it, and that was it. Connie, yes, yum, but not in pasta. Okay, I always stop in when I can to refer to Trader Joe's dang spell check. Gonna head. Wait, I lost you. Hang on. Gonna head to bed. Okay, it's 11 here. Much love, Tori and friends. Hope to catch another live soon. Thank you, Sarah. Monday and Wednesdays, I'm live at 8 o'clock. And then Friday night is 10:30. And then Sunday is 8 o'clock again. And it's kind of a Q&A. Just kind of a chat. A Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening chat. Sweet dreams, Sarah. The domestic goddess. Wow. My parents were vegetarians since, the mid-70s. That's impressive. Everyone thought we were freaks. So my whole life has been like, what do you eat? People don't like what people don't understand. I'm glad it's changing. Yeah, I'm sure that would be awkward. Sarah, the domestic goddess. Good night. Yeah. All right. Well, good. I think we're good. Did everyone hit the like button? Can either one of you moderators check and see if we have enough likes? I'll tell you, if any of you went over to the TikTok thing, thank you. I was impressed. I mean, I'm like going, what do they call it? Going, I forget what they call it, where you're just going. But I mean, it was like, 1,500 in the morning, and it's 8,000 now already. And this is in one day. It was just like, what do they call that? Where you're going, I can't remember it. You're going viral. That's right. And I'm going viral on TikTok. And it's like, what a riot. I don't know if it'll last, but today, for sure, it was like, oh my God, it's 1,500, it's 2,000, it's 2,500, it's 20. And this was all like in minutes. It was just like, wow. Tori, that's so cool about your TikTok. I know, it's just so weird. To me, though, as my friend said, think about this. This is thousands and thousands of young people seeing your video. And I'm talking to them about, don't get into it. If you're young, you might think it's fun, it's cute. It's not. It's a big trap. So that's a good thing. Yes, I'm one of those two that like button the stream. I always do. Thank you, Sieglin. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's like, wow, it's amazing. I know it is. It's really cool. It is. All of this live stream stuff I love. Tomorrow I might do a live stream on TikTok. That's what we're talking about. I didn't even know you could do that, but I might, because there's a lot of questions. Now everybody has all kinds of questions, and they're kind of like, I can't answer them in a minute. It's just not going to work. So I love that Tori is there talking to the young ones. I know, I really do. I really want to help them understand, because they think it's really funny, and it's not funny, as you guys know. And so it's going to be intense. We'll see. I don't know. I don't even know if it'll happen, but we'll see. That's what's going on, though. But thank you, Sophie, for being here, moderating, and love it. And thank you all for coming and listening. And Eric, thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate it. And if you have any more, please let me know, because it does help me to know that you have a topic you'd like to hear about. So let me know what your next one is for Wednesday. All right. In the meantime, Have a wonderful rest of the night and a fantastic Tuesday. As the saying goes, it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye. Okay. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything, but thank you, Sophie. I love that Tori's here talking to the. Oh, I see, because I'm talking to the young one. Anyway, good night, everyone. I love those purple hearts. Thank you for putting them up. I wonder if I could just copy your purple hearts. I don't think so. It won't let me. Nope. Oh, look at that. Have an amazing night. All lots of love from Culver City, California. And Eric, say hi to your mom, okay? And tell her I said congratulations. Really, that's a huge, huge win. It really is. Tori, you said the kids think Scientology is funny. Oh, fun and games. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, until somebody loses an eye, truly, or something really bad happens. That's the thing. You can talk to people about fair game. They honestly don't get it until it happens to them. And then they're like, somebody flattened my tires. Somebody killed my dog. It's like, and then they call me. It's like, and you expect me to do, but anyway, I try to help out where I can. So we'll see, hopefully. Oh, never in Aaron. That's good. I love all those hearts. I want to be able to put hearts up. I guess you have to have a, you have to have one of those other phones, right? Or an Apple computer, I think. Because I don't think, mine doesn't have little hearts on it. I don't think. And I don't know, you used to be able to press this and that would make a, wow, love it. Man, she went to town. You used to be able to do #3, and that was no, it wasn't pound. It was one of these, this and a 3, and that made a heart. Now, see, it doesn't do it anymore. The emails are from our phones. Oh, the emoticons are from your phones. I gotcha. Thank you, Eric. I'm on Windows. All the hearts are in the chat emoticons. Well, I'm on Windows, but I don't see any heart emoticons. Where are they? Ooh, look at Sophie. She went to town. Where do you know where they are, Sieglin? All the hearts are in the chat emoticons. But where are those? That is the question. Well, one of these days I'll find out. In the meantime, I love you guys. Have a fantastic rest of the night and a wonderful Tuesday. Peace out. All right. I love it with the smiles. That's nice. Thank you, June. All right. Cheers to you guys.